good product managers, they are very focused on delivery, getting things done. In fact, that's how you'll get promoted if you're good at getting things done. What we tend to do, the way we spend our time, is mostly in getting things done. And getting things done is hard. So it takes up all of our time. Sometimes our upper management, our boss, or maybe our VP or CEO in product reviews or in other places is saying, hey, Bob, Alice, you're doing a good job as a PM, but I want to understand the broader strategy, or I feel like we don't have the right strategy, or I feel like we need to align the strategy of your product with this other product within our product line. You also say, yes, we need to do that. You promise yourself that you will find time to align everybody because you feel like there's a strategy, you have it in your head, and you want to spend time on strategy to align everybody, but you never actually end up spending the time to put it all together. Each time you are having a meeting, you are thinking, oh gosh, if everybody understood the strategy, this meeting would be an easy decision. And yet we relitigate strategy because nobody's aligned on that strategy. People will procrastinate for weeks, months. I have myself procrastinated for like 6 months in putting together a clear strategy and end up wasting a lot of time in meetings that are relitigating the strategy that would be very clear if we had one. So how do you balance delivery and strategy work? I was able to crack that nut, in year 10 or 11 of being a PM by sharing with you what I'm about to share now. I hope you can crack it before me, or you can crack it soon. Here's the deal. You cannot escape delivery. What you want to do is you want to find certain boxes of time which you are going to keep sacred and you are going to allocate to strategy work. And they need to be large boxes of time. It cannot be 1 hour here or half an hour there, etc., etc. So percolate on your strategy, do research on your strategy for a while because your brain needs to create that model of what the right strategy is. Maybe it's weeks. Once you percolate it enough, what I want you to do is I want you to set aside a day. Another thing I want you to do is I want you to not work from the same location you typically work from. I want you to find a co-working space or some other new place. And I want you to turn off notifications and focus on the strategy. Another thing is I want you to not expect that, voila, you'll go to a WeWork for one day and you'll emerge with a strategy. That's not how it works. What I want you to do is I want you to have an aim of having the skeleton of your strategy done that day. That means you don't need to focus on the detailed words and the beauty and the block diagram and all of that. Just like put your thoughts that are already in your head on paper, which is what's the skeleton of your strategy? What are the core premises and hypotheses of your strategy? Then the next week, I want you to allocate one more day like that, right? That's the only way to do it is, get big time boxes and partition your time, change your location. Change of location, I cannot emphasize enough how important that is. So on the question of important versus urgent, this is one example of where strategy work is really important, but it's never urgent, which is why it never happens. What I want you to do is recognize that in the PM job, most of the time you'll be working on urgent things. But again, find a day of week. I'm just asking for one day of the week or half a day of the week. Maybe it's your no meeting day of your company if you have one. Usually for us, it was Wednesdays. So find that day and work on the important but not urgent stuff. Last tip I'll give is sometimes what happens is when you have this blank sheet of paper, you feel like doing Slack, you feel like doing email because you want to feel productive. So one thing I do is I usually have these placebo productivity tasks before that day, which is I only do Slack and email a day or two before this day. Then what happens is I'm caught up on Slack and email. So I can actually then focus on the important stuff, whether it's strategy or something else. Hopefully that helps as a model for how to do it. Once I started doing it, it worked like a charm. I still do it.